Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Kenneth Price, and this is Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Sunday, December 25th, 2022. And this is our 57th Sunday morning Zoom call for the ministry. I'm hosting psychiatricsobriety.com. And this is my 5-minute introduction to explain to everybody what's going to be taking place in the next hour on this YouTube archive. What does take place? We don't know what takes place. It's up to Spirit what takes place. It's better for me just to share with you who I am and who comes to these Zoom calls. My name is Kenneth Price. I'm a 55-year-old gay man, and I have what I have called and what I have labeled the psychiatric parable. And it's all over my YouTube channel, not mine, it's all over our YouTube channel. It's all over this website, psychiatricsobriety.com. I'm a man who had trauma in my youth, and the beliefs of the time were that a lot of this could be resolved with psychiatric pharmaceuticals. So in the late 80s and the early 90s, they started the dream character Kenneth Price on a medication, a little pill called Prozac, and it worked. And one thing led to another, and then they came out with another medication, and then they came out with another when they said this one stopped working, but we're going to try this one. And, for the next 25 years, I got into a spider web of pharmaceuticals. In addition to pharmaceuticals, there were also addictions, drugs, and alcohol. All right, so that's my psychiatric parable in a nutshell. Then it came to my attention through metaphysics and a lot of spiritual research that there was no such thing as mental illness, period. It was trauma. And upon that discovery, I realized I had to surrender my pharmaceuticals. And by that time, I had been also prescribed benzodiazepines. Folks, getting off these pharmaceuticals was a lot of work. Listen to the tone of my voice. It was a lot of work. It was hard. It was frightening. But we're not going to go there, because by the grace of God, by a lot of hard work, I am completely free of pharmaceuticals for years and years. And I have called mine an emergence. I have not called mine healing. I called it emergence. What came out of all that? This ministry came out of all that. This is our 57th Sunday morning Zoom call. I've got something like 35 or 36 midweek Zoom calls, in addition to a whole bunch of my own videos, in addition to a rough draft of a book called The Psychiatric Shaman, in addition to a website. Folks, it's not in spite of that, but because of that I've got a testimony to share, and I've got resources and love to extend. So nothing went wrong. However, if you're coming off pharmaceuticals or have been diagnosed for mental illness, and you come into the Zoom call or you reach these YouTube archives, you might still think something's going wrong. So listen to what we have to say. It's a ministry, folks. Why is it a ministry? Because it took just a lot of hard work. And in order to accomplish what I just shared with you, it took faith. Faith in a religious, sky god, no. But, how do you define faith? It's up to you. We're not going to, cram any theology down your throat. But I will share with you that I am a Course in Miracles student. Beloved, who's with us and smiling, is a Course in Miracles student. And Jody is one of our just founders who's been, I don't have enough good enough stuff to say about Jody and Beloved. All right, I've talked for about 4 minutes. A few disclaimers I'm going to throw in, folks. I'm going way out on a limb, but I am not going to stop doing what I'm doing. However, that being said, I've got to throw in a few disclaimers, because I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression that we're here to start a cult. We're not here to get off your meds now. Absolutely not. That would be reckless. That would be dangerous. That would be stupid. That would be cruel. All right. We're not here to tell anybody that something's wrong with meds. We're not here to protest psychiatry. We're here to offer experience, strength, and hope for others who have already made that decision. Listen, folks, there's all this fear going around. And that's part of the reason I started this ministry, because there's a fear that's contagious like a virus. The fear is 100 times, more dangerous than anything called COVID. Everyone's saying my brain's been damaged, or, look what, folks, I already told you, I'm a Course in Miracles student. Fear is the opposite of love. All right. So if you're frightened, if you're scared, watch this YouTube video, listen to what we have to say, because miracles are possible. I'm a miracle. Beloved's a miracle. Jody's a miracle. And you want way showers. You want this stuff. And we got good stuff here. All right. So I'm already on 5 minutes. Since it is a ministry, we started off with the healer's prayer. It comes from the Course in Miracles. I think it comes from the Course in Miracles, and it goes like this. We are here only to be truly helpful, and we are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing he or she goes there with us, and we will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. All right. Jody popped on. Jody popped off. She's probably got internet problems. So we're going to start off with Beloved. And okay, so here's where I think we're going to go with this Zoom call. We're going to start off with this topic.
Wait. Let's get some energy up here. Come on, get up and dance. This ain't no entertainment show. Thank you. Because we were talking about how we get triggered when somebody tells me I'm too much. Am I too much? Is it my energy? Am I too fucking happy for you? I used to let you do that to me. I'm free of that. That's what we talking about today. Be quiet.
You go, girl. Go, girl.
Sit down. Shut up. You're too loud. You're too much.
Mind your P's and Q's.
You bother me.
Somebody.
You bother me. And it's about me. Fuck you. In case you didn't notice, when you come in my presence, you're here to please. I didn't fucking know that, but you know, we are. Parents train us. Continues on. When have we been triggered? What does that mean? I've been triggered yesterday. This is a spiritual thing. You know, it's bipolar.
Bipolar. Here we got some pills to quiet you down. No. Enough is enough.
You know,
Popeye's gonna eat his
whatever road you took, I went into a cult. I just ran around crazy. Whatever road you took still puts us back into ourselves, because we are the only ones who feel our judgment. We are the only ones who feel our hate. This person I'm hating on, I don't know. I mean, is she thinking about me hard as I'm thinking? I mean, but look at who it's affecting. You know, we're saying the same thing, but paradoxically, like Kenneth says, I was never mentally ill. And I say, I was fucking crazy. I was fucking crazy trying to be sane in a crazy world. Like they were right and I was wrong. And if you're not crazy from that, you're not ready to listen to what we got here to say. Because it's not going to feel good. Maybe it's you're going to want to know. It's too much. Quiet down. You just, oh, hurt my ears. That will trigger a motherfucker off. I'm just telling you. I'm working on it. You know, I'm being a spiritual, you know, I do the spiritual shit. I'm trying to be, because I don't like being triggered like that. Why am I triggered like that? Anyways, enough. But that's what, anybody else get triggered when somebody tells you you're too much, you know, be quiet, settle down.
Beloved, let's actually bring that back to the spiritual community that I'm in. There's David Hoffmeister's been really clear. He says, no people pleasing and no private thoughts. Now if you're triggering others here at this spiritual community, that's their problem. Problem is not the right word, but you know, David's this is why I'm.
What does it have to do with me?
No, yeah, he says, shine your light, and if and it's made the spiritual community hard for me. Other people's light looks like, you know, Pentecostal Christianity, and it drives me up the wall. And they said, deal with it, basically. I guess 6 years later, I'm still here. I'm about ready to shine my light. They got Pentecostal Christianity. I got an inner drag queen that's about ready to dance disco. And speaking about disco, let's talk to our friend Sean, who hasn't been here for a while. He's got candy canes. He's got a Santa hat, and he posted all sorts of pictures. He's decorating his partner's house, and he's got a black lab. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for showing up.
Welcome.
All right.
Morning, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Sean, are we mentally ill, or are we just happy?
That's well, if we think anything other than happy, we're mentally ill. Let's put it that way. Right? Because we're spirit. We're just pure joy. So if you're just joy, then you're there. You got it. You're right on. And but people that think they're sane think we're crazy. Yeah. But it's because they think they have misidentified themselves as a body.
I received, you know, Sean, I got to confess to you, that wasn't the first letter that I shared with you. You know, I received another letter from that person. Thank you. You know, the one that I had you read earlier in the year. And the first part of that letter was, you know, oh, another one of your bipolar, you know, oh, I received another one of your bipolar letters. You know, and it's taken me a long time to forgive, you know, this person. I'm not going to say any names because I'm trying to keep anonymity on this YouTube archive. But, you know, I'm just wired differently. I came in connected to spirit. And it's taken me years to realize not everyone's connected to spirit. It's kind of like Teal Swan was doing a video when she was a little girl. She just saw energy and auras, and she would go around her second grade teacher and said, your dead mom is right next to you. Do you want to talk to her? I can channel. And doesn't everybody see dead people? No. Let's make it a round robin. How are you this morning, Jody? You came in and out a few times, so it looks like your internet's, you know, you got a better connection now.
I had to come in on my phone. Here, I only heard like every third word that Beloved was saying, but I was just like on the edge of my seat wanting to hear more. I totally agree. And I'm just learning, like, you know, we learn all of these things, but then we have to embody them. And I'm really just starting to embody now that it's everybody else who is fucking crazy because they're trying to fit into this absolutely insane model of sanity. That's the fucking insanity out there. Yep. And so really just embodying that. I've heard it. It sense up here, but I'm really starting to feel it. I'm starting to get it. And what freedom. Like this is the liberation to realize it's not me.
Oh, I just wrote down the word freedom. There we go. Beloved, we actually narrowed it down to one single word. So it looks like my mighty companion Jenny is on a covered bridge this morning, and I'm sure freedom is something she could talk about.
I'm coming from Bridges of Madison County.
I was just going to say Bridges of Madison County.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Feliz Navidad a mis compañeros poderosos.
Because I love this time of year because the new year is just around the corner and a time for new beginnings and new goals and new outcomes. I don't know. Just it's all new. It's always all new, but it just seems more new at the new year.
Control Alt Delete. Let's all start over.
We
And
get to
over.
every day. Every single day is a new beginning.
Yeah.
Really. Actually,
That's true, because the reason I hang with David Hoffmeister is it takes him, thousands of hours to get us there, but basically he says the only mental illness is believing in a past and a future. That's mental illness. Let's cut to the chase here, folks.
Yeah.
But once you tap into that eternal now, you start dancing like Beloved. And,
Yeah.
and if I can serve the world, it's like, do not dance like that in your psychiatrist's office. Danger, Will Robbins, danger, danger.
I'll be traveling to Baja this week, so next weekend maybe I'll
Right.
be coming to you from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep going south, and as soon it looks like Beloved and her wife are gonna hit Mazatlan pretty soon. Just keep going south. If you're Jenny,
Yeah.
if you stick on the spiritual journey long enough, you're gonna land in the Ajijic, Chapala area where the rest of us, seem to. But at the same time, all of us have had to work to get to this freedom that Jody talked about. I mean, Sean and I have spent countless hours on the phone, going through some real heartaches together. Sean and I are both gay men. Sean came from a Mormon family. My family, was finally, after years and years of grief with my own family, I was angry. After years and years in grief, I realized they were frightened of me. And instead, suddenly, my emergence looked like the anger was replaced with sadness. But they were honest with me also. They said, Kenneth, well, I was Kenny back then, but, I switched back to my legal name. They were honest. They say, you frighten us, because they live in a world of security, of green paper strips and little round metal discs. It was the religion of my family. Folks, we've got to take the Joseph Campbell. All of us here have taken a Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and that includes psychiatry too. We've had to walk away from psychiatry when they warn us, if you leave psychiatry, you may die. So listen, folks, freedom is to capture freedom is there's a cost. My last name was Price. There's a cost. But if there's any way I can serve this world, is to offer these Zoom calls, and these YouTube archives to afford a safety net. We were all caught. There was nothing to fear for any of us. But this is a risk each person's going to have to take in their own journey. But it's not a risk for us. It got to the point where it was a choiceless choice. We couldn't not get off our meds and have to figure it out for ourselves. And we have all discovered, we've got the holy grail to discover here. So there, go. Anybody want to go? I think it's back to Beloved's turn. You got to unmute yourself. Are you still dancing? Is the music still on?
No, but I'm listening. I think there comes a point for us all where we have to access courage. Now, David Hawkins seems to say we can't tell right from wrong. So what I might think is courage may come out as belligerence, aggression, bullying. So now what happened? The fucking tables turned back to, this is the spiritual journey. This shit comes back to you. And it's yours, you made it. We say take 100% responsibility because that's just truth. The pink elephant is what we're working at here. You can't see your pink elephant, which is why it's fucking called, as I told my wife, a pink elephant, not a pink butterfly, not a pink flea. It's a fucking pink elephant.
Oh, and let's, well, can I stop you? Because there's something, I heard something and it sounded like gold. Did I hear you right? According to David Hawkins, courage can take the form of belligerence and violence. Can you share more on that? Because let me just put it in scientific terms, because he is a scientist. So he put it in scientific terms. Power versus force is where you can verify where I got this information. So there is a calibration scale. There you go, Jody's holding it up. There's a calibration scale, 1 to 1,000. All right, and he's calibrated energy levels. So we take all the moralizing judgment out of it. It's fucking energy. So anger calibrates at a low energy level. Surprise. Oh, who's surprised at that? You know, fear calibrates at what? A low energy level. And he has done this all the way up for these major, let's call them emotions. I'm studying him, so go study him too. So that's why, so courage is going above 200. Now 200 is the line, the equator between truth and falsehood. So if you're under 200 calibrating, you are a person that lives in that world of fear that attracts everything that comes with fear, or that attracts everything that comes with anger, or that attracts everything that comes with grief. You understand? Anyways, I'm not going to go in all of it. So courage is a step going in the right direction, let's say. But it can go back towards the wrong direction under 200 with belligerence. You understand? It's everything on the other side of the coin. We can't tell the difference. And truly there's no difference, but because we think we're a body, duality, blah, 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 blah. You know, the Course talks about it as our guidance system, you know, but we can't know it. That's why we're crazy. But that's why we are all confused. Okay, I'll say that instead of crazy. We have to be, because we're not seeing correctly. And so it's not a judgment, it's a fact if you calibrate on these things. So what I'm saying is, for me to get triggered when somebody says, settle down, you're too much, you're too loud. Now this is coming back as a thing. And as a bipolar person, are you manic? Are you hypomanic? You know, bitch, if I could take a pill to beat, I would. It's the best feeling in the world. Let's just talk about it. It's a great feeling. It's called energy. It's no judgment about it. It's that I'm at such a different energy level that I can access. Who knows? I don't know what happened, but I can. But it may be beyond your range, so it repels you. So you get shut down. But it takes courage to say, fuck you, bitch, move then. I'm not moving. I'm not going nowhere. You can't lock me up. You can try, like Dale, right? Dale laughs. They think he's locked up. He's not locked up, is he? That's a mental illness. We're all locked up until we go free, and you gotta get to courage. And then it's a bunch of bullshit. What did Kenneth say when we started? It took work. That means the practice. I didn't become good at everything because I just thought about it. I had to practice Tai Chi. I had to practice all these things I'm so fabulous in. And it takes courage to shine a light in the darkness. Darkness don't like that. And of course, if you were darkness, would you like it? It would hurt your eyes. So then we were called to have compassion. It takes courage to have compassion, because I want to be angry. But of course, you have to be mind trained, which is all I'm coming to. We all have to have our mind trained. That's the medication we need.
right? We do a Course in Miracles. It's a mind training program. I think Dr. David R. Hawkins' work is a mind scientifically proven models of transforming, raise your calibration level. Let's just say scientifically. So now there is a way to tell whether I'm going towards the light or not. Where am I on my spiritual journey? I call it sanity, because I was crazy from what I understand now. That's what I'm telling everyone who has thought they're wrong. It's not about anybody being wrong. It's about you having the courage to be yourself. That was where the problem was. It doesn't take anybody else. That's your pink elephant. That's what we're all working on here. Do I have the courage to be my quirky, weird self in a society, wherever you may be, that values conformity? And it looks like this, having a job, blah, 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 that's how we know, the caterpillar. So it takes courage. This is a courageous video channel, right? You say it all the time. It takes courage. It's courage. It takes courage. Byron Katie says it all the time. It takes courage. She says, thank you for your courage to do the work in front of everybody. Man, if you want to raise your vibration, go listen to somebody do the work. You can't do it yourself. I do it. That's what I do. I just binge. I can't do it myself. It's just like peeling a scab that's not ready to come off to me.
But can I add something here? I just want to add,
Okay,
beloved and I connect, and she makes me laugh. And I all of a sudden when Beloved and I get together, my energy just something happens. Now a lot of times people who are trying to be spiritual, it's exhausting. It is literally exhausting. This is what it looks like. Folks, it's given birth. I dated a doctor once. We were lying in bed together, and he said, I don't know why we were talking about it, but he said in order to become a doctor, he had to do rounds. And he said the one he disliked the most was the round where he had to maternity. And I go, why? And he goes, it's disgusting. He said, when a woman's given birth, there's shit and piss everywhere. But he said new life comes out of it. Folks, we're given birth here. There's shit and piss everywhere. Of course, we're going to drop below 200.
Messy.
Of course, we're going to become belligerent, and maybe, hopefully we'll have enough, restraint not to become violent. But it's messy to wake up and let the light out. And along the way, there's going to be some aftermath. There wasn't mine. That's fine. When you get to the other side, you realize there are no others. No one was harmed. No one was helped. That's the holy grail on the other side of this. Courage, yes. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. Thank you. Jody, how was that? Two, people ranting and raving, and the smile on your face is just lighting up my Zoom room. Go.
I just fucking love you guys so much. Thank you. Like, where do you even start to begin with that? So I'm learning the biggest prison that we all live in is mind. No cage door. So we're not even aware that the biggest prison that we live in is our mind. I heard Byron Katie today. I've heard the name a few times. You guys talk about her, and I've heard it here and heard it there, but I actually just shown the work. And I did just what Beloved said. I listened to others do the work, and what a powerful experience that is. Listen to others do the work. As we listen to others do the work, it gives us permission to do our own work. And as I do the permission to do your work, and as you do the work, it gives others to do their work, and that's how the light gets spread. And I'm just so grateful for all of it.
I've got something to even add to that. This can be called the Great Awakening. Very simple. It's waking up.
Well, this is age of acceleration. That's why I put emergence. Did you see what I wrote it? Emerging. You said it was I call it an emergence, but that's not the end of the story. I said in the chat. I said emergence. I'm going to read it. So let's, it goes somewhere after emergence. We're not just elevating, accelerating towards light, and that's the point. I mean, we were talking after we went off the Zoom about how I go in and I get a diagnosis, and what happens to your life? Does it just suddenly stop? Life continues on. I'm still a mother. I still have a job. I still was doing these things, and now you get. It's not there to. I mean, what's it there for? It's there for you to pay attention, definitely, and then the disruption starts. So that's the emergence, right? We all had some disruption that started going this way. Let's say, up the calibration scale, wherever we found ourselves. I was real low. So on the calibration scale, when does suicide happen? You have to be below a certain level to be suicidal. It's really fascinating. You can pick apart your whole illness on that calibration scale. Your whole confusion, your whole, how confused, because that's what he said. We don't know right from wrong. Does the course say that? Apparently, of course, because that's why it's a course in mind training, because we're so confused. So yeah, I think the course really helped me to understand, Sir Doctor.
I want to add something. I said earlier that this was the Great Awakening. Now, for us, for this particular ministry, I'm in a spiritual community. Everyone's waking up from the dream, and I said it on my the banner on the Psychiatric Sobriety Peer Port Facebook page. We're not waking up from a dream. We're waking up from a nightmare. And when you wake up someone from a nightmare, they wake up flailing. That's what this is all about. This is the flailing. It's temporal. It will subside. And this is what's on the other side. I've got, beloveds, this is the message, beloved, and I and Jody and the others, who have emerged. We've come to put this out, not because we're credentialed, but because we're experienced. This is our story, our testimonies.
It's words, because it's energy. I'm a fitness professional, and I realize today I'm going to figure out a riddle for it. But what can you go into looking the same and come out looking the same, but have a huge transformation? When you go into a fitness class, 6 o'clock. Here's how I'm a fitness instructor, so I see how you motherfuckers walk in my class. God is her, because I'm like this. I'm ready to get you, bitches. I'm ready to get you. Run, the beast. It's fucking 4 o'clock and she's ready to kill us already. But you walk out feeling. Where's that measured? You can't step on a scale and measure it. You ain't lost 10 pounds coming to my class that day. What are we doing? It's an intangible, but we don't even address it. You're not even realizing what you're doing. It's an energy thing. It's an energy thing. It's a calibration. It's a vibration. It's a frequency. What other words can we say so that we're not triggered into moralizing what we're talking about? There's no right or wrong. It's your position on things. It's your pink elephant. That's your fucking pink elephant, not mine. I see me as perfectly logical in my world, the way I think. I don't understand how y'all motherfuckers do it, but for me, I have to have fun and play, and I play the Wii, and I dance all the time, and I'm just I just have to express myself. I'm just fucking apparently outrageous being myself. I can be, and then but it's not. It's an energy thing. there are many people like me. Let me give you all some affirmations there. You find your tribe. That's what I was always told. Find your tribe. Find people. It's not a judgment. They can look so different. Look at me and Kenneth. Do we look like twins? I mean, but people, if we hang around long enough, they're gonna say, "Is he my brother?" It happens. The makes you all start looking alike because it's a very weird thing. It totally is. So.
Hey, we can't be twins. I'm black and you're white. Jody, come on, Jody.
I just think it's so interesting that, the ones that we offend with our authenticity, beloved, are the ones that are living the lie. The ones that are trying so hard to conform into the lie that society has us believing is the truth. Those are the ones that freak me out the most, actually. I freak them out and they freak me out. And that's fine. There's no judgment there. It's just that that's not my tribe. Those aren't my people. And the more authentic I can be, the more attracted I am to my tribe. And here we are, the three of us together, bunch of weirdos getting together to celebrate our unique gifts. Hooray.
And I can add to that.
We're Christmas presents. We're Christmas presents.
It says somewhere, and maybe you can help me out with this quote. It says, help me out, because I'm not very good with quotes, but I'm going to try and get this one right. To those whose much has been given, much will be expected. Now that stands true for the three of us, because I know, and I'll go out on a limb and I'll say my family, although I know they're frightened, and I know they try not to be frightened, but finally, by the time a man reaches his 50s, he says it's just not meant to be. It's not my tribe, and that's taken a lot of grief work. And another thing we talked about is we talked about the grief work. We can't ghost over that with a bunch of spiritual platitudes. There is going to be a lot of shit and piss, which is going to look like tears and anger. But still, what's on the other side of the tears and the anger? That same word comes back: freedom. But freedom to give not conditional love, but agape love. What is going to bring a person through the birth canal other than agape love? Nothing. It's got to be agape love. We got to lubricate that birth canal with agape love. And that's what we share with others. The light does not come from conformity. The light comes from source. It comes from within. And there can be no, I don't know, I got to check this David Hawkins guy out, because he sounds like he's on.
You will love him. He talks about AA so much. I think you would get a lot more to use with your AA and A Course in Miracles. I love how you're doing that. And to me, I could do A Course in Miracles and Sir Doctor work, because yes. I'm just fat. It just dovetails perfectly. And he was part of attitudinal healing. He was in A Course in Miracles. He was on the board. He was all involved in it. And he calibrated A Course in Miracles. So, but he just raised about AA and Bill W. I'm learning so much, and I'm learning about where the principles came from. It's the whole spiritual thing, and how AA never charges money. I mean, is it true? I mean, this is what he's saying. Is he just
no money? $1 in the basket. That's all it takes.
Oh, okay, all right. I mean, what's it like? I've never been to one. I mean, can I just?
Yeah, you asked me that question several times.
Can I just walk in an AA meeting because I'm nosy?
Yeah, it's called. They're called open meetings.
Disrespectful.
AA is bedlam. It's bedlam, and that's what makes it so beautiful. Because people fall apart in the rooms, in basement rooms, on linoleum floors and plastic chairs. They go in there and they barf and they fall apart, and that's where the prize is not upstairs on the bully pulpit of the church. The prize is down in the basement where those people are finding God. I swear, I found AA in 1989, and I've been stamping it for over 30 years.
I love it. I love it.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. It's tucked everywhere. It's in the basement. It's in the alley.
It's a secret, because the people upstairs who have it all together are talking about it. The people downstairs who have fallen apart are doing it. Basements of churches. $1 in the basket. 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, not in spite of their addictions, but because of their addictions. That's why Jesus hung out with the tax collectors and the prostitutes. Jesus knew it 2,000 years ago. It's been in front of us the whole time, but when
They
are
were
we
the
ready
party
to let
people.
go?
And they liked to party. Is that why? Oh, sorry.
Shit, howdy. David does not call them addictions. He calls them misguided miracle impulses. Same thing David Hawkins is saying. You're right. Jody, can you hold up that book again? Because your background is blurred, so it's not a little bit, they're not so close to the camera, so I can see it. What's the name of it?
It's called Power versus Force.
Okay. That goes in that.
Because my background is blurred. Let me see if I can.
You'd have to put it in your face. Yeah, there you go.
All right, there, I can see it now. That goes in the description line of the YouTube archive.
Yeah, that'll start you. It's a great book. Read it. Don't listen to it. I mean, you could. It says, no, listen to it because that is Sir Dr. David R. Hawkins reading his book. So and so you can this is his book and he's reading it. So that's very powerful there. But I'm reading it, on my Kindle and highlighting. We could just do it, we could even share notes and talk, blah, blah, blah. It's great, especially for those of us who've been diagnosed with something. You can find out what that means to you and where you're calibrating at that and why, for me, it's like, oh, that's why I was fucking depressed for fucking 3 years and couldn't find my way out of a brown paper bag. We look back and kids always say, oh, I wish I was 55 and I'm 55 now. And I was all, we didn't waste no time. We where we are, but age don't make no difference. I'm messing with you, Ken. But
that's all right. I gotta add, the man who gave me that first prescription of Prozac back in, I think it was 1990. You know what? He didn't want to give me that prescription. He had me go into his office session after session after session. He did not want to put me on medication. He was a sharp cookie. He was also, I can't mention any names. He wanted me to find a way through the trauma unmedicated. But in 1990, gay man in the middle of the AIDS pandemic, no resources. Saved my life. Probably took it. I don't want to go into that, but I just want to do a shout out for the good physicians out there, and there are a lot of them.
And you can tell. And again, do you really want a good physician, or do you really want the one that's going to give you the good shit? We got to take our own responsibility. I mean, I always like to get high. I ain't gonna lie. If you told me that pill got me high, I'd be like, oh, good, and they slip it to you. I didn't know until I went to the dentist. And then they gave you the Tylenol with the whatever in it, codeine. Is that what it is? Shit, you're like, damn, woohoo,
Yeah, can we go? Let's go in that direction for the last 10 minutes of this Zoom call, last 15 minutes, because I want to address that. We haven't addressed, the high that I got from the morphine, the high that I got from the codeine, the high that I got from the meth. I'll tell you what it gave me. It gave me a warmth inside. It was a warmth that I had only probably known a few times in my childhood. Those pills initially, and same with some alcohol, although alcohol wasn't my drug of choice, it filled a hole inside. Can you understand why people then spend the rest of their life reaching after that initial warm sensation? Because we didn't get it. As for someone, how could any parents give this to their children, all the unconditional love, when they got to put food on the table, they're stressed out themselves, and they didn't get it as their childhood,
And it's not their job. And it's not their job. Can I just tag that on? And it's not their job. And it's not their job. And it's not their job. That's what your job is.
We've got to fill that hole with fill in the blanks. That's the reason that I put so much energy into this, helping each person, guide them to fill that hole with the truth, basically. But you can't just give someone the truth. That doesn't work. That's called religions, and religions.
I can't give you fitness. I can't give you you fucking gotta show up at the fucking gym, motherfucker. No, You can't do it with the pill. You don't want to do the shortcut. You know what Hawkins says? We choose expediency, the quick fix. I did. Let me just say, when he broke that down, I'm like, oh, that was me. Shortcuts. I don't got no fucking time. I got a place to go and be, and I have to have it now, yesterday. I didn't. Yeah, that's sure. I didn't care about morals. I had no integrity. Fucking gangsters. Somebody brought that up to my mind. I'm like, oh my God. Is that bipolar? That I didn't realize I was a gangster? Or is that just, you know, my paradigm of foster kid, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
What I was saying is you can't teach someone the truth. It was my discovery that we can only do it's called neti. Not this, not that, not this, not that. We're here to reverse engineer ourselves. That's why you mentioned Byron Katie. And as far as you being a gangsta, sweetie, you and I speak the language of street. This is street talk. And when I talked to Dale on the phone yesterday, he speaks the language of homie.
What's up?
What's up? And that's no different from the language that my family spoke of propriety. Propriety and homie, they're the same language. One is being good and one is being bad. You can't be either. Neti. What's left? That's when my mind went silent. When the story of Kenny was over, and the story of Kenny embodied mental illness. I did a great job. You did a great job. Jody, you did a great job. Academy Award performance. You pretended you were a Jody. You pretended you were beloved. I pretended I was a Kenny.
It was just a piece. It was just a piece. It's not meant to, it kept me until you work through it. That's when you know you're done with it. So when it comes up, you're not scared to talk about it. And you've understood it. I could not understand this diagnosis, especially because there was something behind it, because something was wrong with me. It's like you have a broken arm. You don't have to convince anybody you have a broken arm, but it's like no one believes you're mentally ill all of a sudden. Oh, so now you're mentally ill. So they say.
And this is the part that brings me so much grief still, but I'm working I'm a work in process. I've shared that with the whole world. Those are my mother's exact words. What's wrong with you? That must have been very painful for a mother to have when there was so much love. But when I realized I drove people to the wit's end. And so you're right, it does take discipline, mind training to do the inner work. I'm not gonna lie. I've told the whole world I've stuck my foot in my mouth, countless times, impulsive. Your turn, Jody. Where are you at with all this?
I'm just thinking, so where I am in my journey, I've just gone through another spiritual awakening that was really quite painful. I walked away from my spiritual community of 8 years. And I'm really realizing, isn't it all just a judgment? Aren't we all just judging each other, right or wrong, good or bad? And I really think it's none of my business to judge whether Beloved's attitude, her energy, her way of being, how dare I say that that's wrong or bad? Isn't that up to her to decide whether that's wrong or bad?
The first one to clarify that for me, again, I keep referring to David. He's in his walking, talking Course in Miracles encyclopedia. He was the first one who pointed out that it's not that we shouldn't judge. He basically explained that we can't. He said that's fine, but you just simply can't. You don't know. It's like that old parable. Was it 3 blind men, or come to an elephant. One of them grabs onto the foot and says, this is a tree. It's a tree trunk. One of them grabs the tail and said, it's a snake. It's a snake. And what is it? The third one grabs the trunk, and what does he say that one? It's a hose. It's a hose. They don't have all the information. We don't have all the information. So
Hawkins calls it positionality. So for each of those people, it is true.
It is true.
That's where they're looking at it. That's their angle of perception. And that's the next level we realize. You have compassion, and it's all true because of their positionality. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, that's fine. But the last thing is it was put into a frame of reference with more solidity by Anita Moorjani, who had, you know, she had cancer, she died, she got to the other side, she saw that she created her own cancer. God told her to turn back and jump into her body. She went back into that body. It was withered away at like probably 80 pounds. It was totally sick. And she said, I don't need the cancer anymore. She woke up, she looked at her doctor and she said, I'm done, I'm fine, I don't have cancer anymore. He said, no, you're in hospice, you're dying. And she goes, no, I'm not. You know, a couple of weeks later, the cancer was gone. They couldn't find it. You know, she gained her weight back. But when she started sharing her testimony, she put into a reference, you know, she put it in a way that I could hear it. She said, folks, this is what I learned when I died and came back to life. She said, basically, we're all in the basement, and the only tool that we have is a flashlight. She said, it's a dark basement, it's dingy, it's dirty, but we have this very small device upon which we're able to perceive what's down here. She said, folks, when you get to the other side, the lights go on and you see everything, which is what she saw, which is also what I saw when I had my near-death experience. You see absolutely everything with clarity. Then suddenly the lights go off and you're having the flashlight again. But you've got the reference point now. So, you know, blind men, one man says it's a trunk, one man says it's a snake, one man says it's a hose. According to their flashlight, that's all they can see. And according to my mom, she was right. What was wrong with me from her perception? You know, that's what the Course in Miracles says.
And thank her because she set you on your journey. That's what you had to have the courage to be yourself. That's what all of us is wrong. Ain't nobody was right. Ain't nobody had no perfect kid. Nobody had no perfect kid. That mom's on them for some shit. So, you know, but that's the trajectory we're putting you on. That's the trigger. You know, I can trace it back to when I was a kid being told to shut up, sit down. You know, can't you sit still? No, you fucking can't. It was hard.
These are what our stories look like. These are what our stage plays look like.
But then you have to have the courage to stand in your integrity. This is the whole journey. We're like, our spines are all crooked. It's bringing those spines back in alignment. Get a fucking backbone. Stand up for your motherfucking self. And who is that self you're giving all your all to? Some fake motherfucking story of who you was in a past story life, or who you are now, the gifts you're giving. That's what we're here to do here. We're not here for self-aggrandizement, blah, blah, blah. This is a world-changing event. The world is changing. The world is elevating. That was the last thing I wrote. Accelerating. The elevating is accelerating now. So we're not here to just emerge. We're here. Yeah, y'all emerging. Hurry up. Don't spend too much time suffering with it. You know, do some fun things. Listen to some music. Be funny. You know, do whatever it takes to elevate your energy, because you want to get feeling better, to choose better. To start knowing truth from falsehood, from your addiction to being sad, from your addiction to holding on to what you're still mad at God about. So, we're not, we say it's about psychiatric sobriety and getting off drugs, getting off whatever drug food, drug, I don't know what fucking drug what is not allowing you to be an integrous. Hawkins talks about it often. Until you calibrate above 200, your integrity is questionable, which means your sanity. To me, I say it's insane, because a lot of those emotions was where I was crazy at. And when I saw the calibration of what comes up, that's when I was studying the Course in Miracles. That's when I was getting sane. So that's what I call it. So if you can't tell if you're crazy or not, look at this calibration here. I'm not fearful. I'm happy. And I love everybody. I really do love you. I'm not here to harm you. I might look mean, and I just love scaring people. Y'all are funny. You know, I can be a mad Black woman.
We got, see, I just had to answer a text. We got 5 minutes left. Jody, let's give these 5 minutes to you because it sounds like you left your spiritual community. You're going through.
Yeah. Wow. Breakthrough, break free. You know, and,
well,
and no shade on
that,
on them. No shade on them. This is for you. Bam, bam, girlfriend. Whew.
But I want to add for this YouTube archive, Jody's been one of the biggest supporters of this ministry. She has a horrendous psychiatric parable. She is a miracle. And I've watched her and I have been evolving together, emerging together. Jody, share with us. We got about 5 minutes, well, about 4 minutes. I'm going to wrap these up in an hour.
Yeah, so waking up, like this is what my journey's been about. I think this is what all of our journeys is about, is waking up to our true power. And so I needed to go through my psychiatric parable to understand what I needed to understand then. And I found a beautiful spiritual community and I got what I needed from them. And now I'm rising again. And like Beloved said, it's no judgment or like nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. I needed that to get to where I am now. And I need where I am now to get to where I'm going to be. And the important thing, one of my important lessons right now is to let go of the past, to not hang on to it, because that was what was, and that was what I needed. And now I need something different. And so I just keep allowing my heart to guide me. I keep asking, where are we going today? Where are we going today? And what I'm being shown, the places that I'm being taken are just absolutely freaking amazing. This world waking up to, wow, like it just blows my mind. What I just still don't know what is going on here, but what a fascinating ride.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jody, because there is this common belief to people who are, at this stage, at one particular stage of the spiritual journey, you go to a spiritual community, end of story. No, everyone's been trying to make this clear. You can come to these places, but they are way stops on the journey. And that's it's kind of like people say, oh, you get married, for better, for worse, forever and ever. We don't know that. No one knows if two people are supposed to be together for 1 week, 1 year, 10 years, a lifetime. I mean, maybe God says you've learned all that you can from this relationship. Now don't hang on, beyond the point when the learning, teacher-student relationship is supposed to be over. If it's over, people think divorce is bad. No, it doesn't. You leave us. No, you're right, Jody. You've been guided to continue to pack your bags and keep going. Kudos for that. All right. That's about it. We're 58-minute mark. That's it for the YouTube archive. We can have the Zoom room open as long as you want, but I got to get back to work. Kenneth Price on Christmas morning, Sunday, December 25th, 2022. Beloved started us off with a dance. Yeah, she's dancing. Let me finish this up. But mute yourself so I can just wrap this up. Beloved started us off with a dance. Jody, is on board, sharing with us. I just love these Zoom calls. Sean Nelson was on board, and Jenny was on board. They both didn't stay the full hour. So Kenneth Price for number 57 Sunday morning Zoom call for psychiatricsobriety.com. Listen, folks, the quote Krishnamurti is on my website. To be well-adjusted to an insane society is not a sign of mental health. All right. The topic of this Zoom call was freedom. Okay. Popeye's eating a spinach. It's all I can stand. I can't stand no more. If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave your comments below. And also, please join us. I've stopped asking for donations a long time ago, but I am asking for participation in order to keep this going. As long as people show up, I'm going to keep doing it. God bless, and let's see. May the force be with you. Everyone have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye.